So here we are in the midst of the shutdown, and we've already told you that as far as Republicans are concerned, they're pretty unified in message here. We just want to pass a clean CR. Don't want to add anything, don't want to subtract anything. Democrats, of course, want to add. Congressman Dan Muser, friend of the show from Pennsylvania's 9th Congressional District, joins us again. He's on the House Committee on Small Business and Financial Services, and glad to have you back, Congressman Muser. How are things going in day 9 of the shutdown?
Hey, Chris, how you doing? Not all that well, right? We didn't ask for this. We certainly didn't vote for it. It is not ideal by any means, a CR, but nevertheless, we were in the midst of passing BBB, the Jobs Cuts for Working Family Act, and which was enormously important. We've got our appropriations bills completed through committee. We still need to bring 9 out of the 12 to the floor. The Senate is doing the same, and we simply needed another 7 weeks to get it done until November 21st. You know, Chris, Tom Cole, one of the most respected people in the House on both sides of the aisle, had an agreement. He's the appropriations chair. He said, look, let's have a clean CR. And they said, okay, just keep it short term. Okay, 7 weeks. It was agreed to. Then they came up with their initial set of demands, which were even seen by the general public and the media as lunacy, the loony left, gut the BBB, which we just passed, and add back in $1.4 trillion and never touch PBS or NPR or any other reductions in spending. So that was seen ridiculous. Then they came up with this ACA Affordable Care Act, which was very much the Unaffordable Care Act. It's almost $300 billion more costly a year than not over a 10-year period than was originally projected, giving subsidies to people that make over $500,000. No offense to people making over $500,000, but guess what? You don't deserve taxpayer subsidies. Over 30.
Is that, Congressman, could I jump in on that? Because this seems to be, while I know we've talked a lot about illegal aliens getting, Medicaid and subsidies and the like, which is an issue for sure. Is it also true that subsidy issue for high-income earners, the fact that there are people making that kind of money, getting taxpayer-subsidized insurance through Obamacare, is that also an issue for Republicans and what Democrats are trying to fight for?
Higher than that, $600,000. And it was passed during COVID. And, the Democrats thought in their rescue plan that was important. And so they included it temporarily. It was written by them as temporary. Now they want to make it permanent, which of course is what they do. The more they can encroach on people's freedoms, the more they can augment the size of a federal government or any government for that matter, is their number one goal. And Chris, what's really disheartening and disgraceful, and I have friends that not necessarily great friends that are Democrats in the House and otherwise. They're lying about it. They're stating things. They're just trying to drive panic and fear-mongering. I mean, I'm listening to my local radio up here in Northeast Pennsylvania, and they're talking about how catastrophic, oh my God, if we don't do this now, the ACA premiums are going to go through the roof. Guess what? They went through the roof under Biden. And they're going to continue to go up through the roof if Republicans don't step in and fix this so as it's truly or as affordable as it can, and we're not wasting literally tens of billions of dollars going straight to the insurance companies, what the current plan calls for.
President Trump yesterday at the White House was asked about programs that he's prepared to eliminate with Russ' vote over at OMB if this shutdown continues. Give me number 4 here, Paul. Here's what the president said, Congressman Muser, and then I'll get your reaction.
Identify programs to eliminate under this shutdown?
Oh, sure.
Which ones?
We have a lot. I'm not going to tell you, but we'll be announcing it pretty soon. But we have a lot of things that we're going to eliminate and permanently eliminate. One of the things that we have is some advantage, you could say. But because of the shutdown, which I think they made a big mistake, we're able to take out billions and billions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse. And they've handed it, on a silver platter. And Russell Vogt, he's a serious person, very serious person, and he's sitting there and he's getting ready to cut things. And this is something that was handed to us by, I assume, Schumer. I just don't know if Schumer has any power anymore.
How legit is this, do you think, Congressman Musser? Is the president using Russ Vought as sort of, the sword of Damocles for Democrats, trying to scare them into backing off this thing? Or do you think he means it? He'll make good on this and they'll start slashing if this continues.
I'll tell you what, Russ Vought, we work with him. I worked with him before in the first Trump administration. I mean, he's a humble guy, but the president's right. He's a strong guy. He's a serious guy, and he's looking to do his job to the best ability that he can do it. We have a $2 trillion deficit, call it $1.8 trillion. Here, and Chris, when I came into Congress, very, very sadly, and this is disgraceful, we had a budget of spending of $4.4 trillion. Today, it's nearly $7 trillion. It went up like crazy. Yes, during COVID, I signed on to some of it. It was supposed to end, but then Biden comes in and thinks it's a wonderful idea to spend another $7 trillion. So our overall spending is up well over 50%. Well over 50%. But the good news is our revenues are up almost 35%. So even if you factored in inflation, then added some more and add 30% to that 4.5 trillion budget back in 2019, compensating for inflation and everything else, we would be more than $1 trillion less in spending. So, and that's where DOGE came in. That's why I was so behind DOGE. We need to reduce our spending by nearly $1 trillion, and it can be done. Look, we weren't suffering in 2019. It can be done. So, Russ Vought, we're going to look at this closely. And he's going to look at, here's just an example, SBA. I'm on the Small Business Committee. It had 3,000 employees, or 2,800 employees. It now has almost 7,000. And wow. Kelly Loeffler, under the Biden administration, they basically doubled the size. Not just doubled it. I don't even know where they found 3,000 employees to work at the SBA during the course of the Biden years. That's how crazy they inflated the size of government.
May I ask you, Congressman Musser, and maybe you have no comment on this, but I find it curious, and boy, the left is seizing on it big time, that Marjorie Taylor Greene, Monday night, as they write at CNN, handed Democrats a significant arrow in their government shutdown quiver. She became the most prominent Republican to come out strongly in favor of the thing Democrats are demanding, an extension of enhanced Obamacare subsidies. She said she's not a fan of Obamacare, but she said that, she's hearing from constituents, and she says, I'm carving out my own lane. I'm disgusted that the health insurance premiums will double. Not a single Republican in leadership talked to us about this or has given us a plan to help Americans deal with their health insurance premiums doubling. What do you say about her saying this and people on the left very excited about it?
I'll tell you what. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a real good friend of mine, not just a good friend, and I respect her. She had a great business career. She and her family built a real nice business, and she's a legislator that cares a lot. I think we all see that. No one's looking to, well, maybe some are looking to gut the Affordable Care Act, which is proven to be the Unaffordable Care Act, but at least 10% of it, which corrections need to be made. These permanent levels of subsidies for those making over $500,000, the fact that 33% of the funding from the American taxpayer is going directly to insurance companies as opposed to patients that aren't receiving any services. So it's nothing but profit. It's nothing but cash flow for the insurance companies. I think people, if they realized that and understood that to be the truth, they'd say, yeah, let's fix that. Let's leave all the good parts.
Are you saying, this just hit me, are you saying that the Democrats are basically advocating for insurance companies? Is that a fair way to say it? Said another way, we know that the American left celebrated the assassination of a health insurance CEO.
Yeah.
But yet it sounds to me like they're advocating for lining their pockets right now through legislative work.
They are, but they're more interested in keeping the size of government open, and then they or the size of government spending continuing the funding. This way, they feel they can control the insurance companies. But the first thing is just to spend, make government bigger, and have the insurance companies bow to them. Or else they will pull that money away. And look, they are all about politics. All right, that's maybe a stereotypical, maybe that's an overly broad commentary. Maybe some of my Democrat friends are going to say, hey, that's going too far. But look at the facts. Look at the results. Everything they talk about. This shutdown is purely political. There's no gain. There's only pain.
Congressman, we are always thrilled that you make time for us from the 9th Congressional District, well served by Congressman Dan Muser, and you can follow him on X at Rep Muser, M-E-U-S-E-R. Thank you, Congressman, for your time this morning.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me on.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.